Welcome, everyone, to the Chompcast, the official podcast of Sword Chomp and swordchomp.com. Thank you for downloading or streaming the show, taking some time out of your life to listen to us. And remember, if you're digging the show, please subscribe, leave us a kind rating wherever you download your podcast. Share it with your friends, whatever it takes to get the Chompcast name out there. We are going on quite a journey for today's show as we talk video game violence, as our topic of the show, inspired by the Last of Us 2 trailer controversy. And then we switch 360 degrees for some Super Mario Odyssey talk, which should be a lot of fun. Maybe a bit more Destiny 2, some BlizzCon updates, Fish has a new gaming addiction, and much more. And we will also pick the mind of our guest host that I will introduce here first. Our good friend Rich Meister from Destructoid.com is joining us. How you doing, Rich?
Hey guys, thanks for having me back once more.
Ooh, our pleasure.
Oh.
I wanted to have
having you.
We do. We love having you.
I appreciate that because I'm very self-conscious.
We're trying to pick you up at the beginning of the show. It's all smooth sailing from here. We love having you on, and this might be the last opportunity we get before the end of the year because things are getting crazy, and then we have Game of the Year.
Game of the Year time.
Which is going to be crazy, but also so much fun. So, and also, I noticed this week you had posted some pictures that you met the man, the myth, the legend, Reggie from Nintendo. What is that about?
I went to the Super Mario Odyssey launch event in New York City for Destructoid with my fellow Destructoid writer, Peter Glagowski, and we were given a total of 4 seconds to interact with Reggie before we were shooed away.
But hey, that's more than...
Yeah, he's a nice tree of a man.
That's cool. That's cool. So he was just at the event, and that's really cool. So it probably played into the whole experience of making that Mario Odyssey purchase that much more special for you. So.
Yeah, it was a good time for sure.
That's cool.
Might be a video of some sort going up sometime this week over on Destructoid. I don't know what the status of that is currently because I'm not the one editing it.
That's awesome, though. You get to be in the presence of the legend. So that's cool. A lot of cool pictures on your Instagram as well. If you want to follow Rich Meister, I'll make sure to tag him in the Instagram post for the show. Thanks for being here, Rich. Let's introduce the rest of the crew that you know and love real quickly here. On the Mario theme, my good friends and masters of laying pipe from Michigan, Joshua Fowler is here.
Okay. Hi.
You okay? See, he accepts that. He accepts that he's a master of laying pipe.
Yeah.
Nothing needs to be said, really.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, really. Master, I think professional is probably taking it a bit too far, but master, yes. So.
Okay. All right. But eventually, we'll get to professional level.
Semi-pro at the moment. So.
Semi-pro. Okay. I can live with that. Glad you're here, being our resident Nintendo expert, among other things. From Japan, our good friend and the one and only Shea Layton joins us. How you doing, Shea?
I am good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm good as well. Are you excited to talk about? Well, I guess you didn't play Mario, but I guess you can hear us talk.
I'm excited to hear about it. Yeah, that's for sure.
Weigh in on the controversy among other things. So, yeah, we are glad you're here, my friend. And from Texas, last but surely not least, so this is interesting. So from Texas, of course, is Fish, and our co-host that we love dearly. And I actually had an Instagram comment that I thought would be great for introducing him this week. I thought it was perfectly on topic. So I've been posting a lot about Mario Odyssey on our Instagram page, and I got this comment. It says, looking forward to the Mario Odyssey show. Just wanted to say, much like Cappy in Super Mario Odyssey, co-host Fish will capture your heart, use you to get what he wants, and then cast you aside and leave you dazed and confused, leaving you wandering the earth and wondering when he will ever return and bring you back into his life. It says this is from Spurned Lover 6969. Fish, do you have any idea who that might be?
Yeah, I thought I got a restraining order on that person, but
It was a private profile. I couldn't learn a lot. It was private, so.
Okay. Gotcha.
But it's an apt metaphor, though. I mean, it's pretty on point. Is it not?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And both leave you with a brown mustache as well. But we are glad you're here, Fish, and excited to get your thoughts on all the various topics we have today. And I, of course, am from Montana. Sometimes I forget to introduce myself. Morgan from Montana. So I was telling you guys for the show, it's like a snowstorm here, so I'm all bundled up in my podcast room, and I'm ready to do this, but I'm excited. And I will throw it to you, Rich, to kick this show off. You brought a really cool topic to the table involving video game violence that was sort of inspired by the whole Last of Us 2 trailer controversy. So I'll let you take it away, my friend.
Inspired by my Twitter feed. After Sony's Paris Games Week presser, a lot of people were talking about Naughty Dog's latest trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, which, for those who haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching it before you listen to this topic. Because the violence is a little over the top, and some people seem to be saying they're sick of the violence for violence sake. And I kind of want to get the take from all you guys on that, because I have some pretty specific thoughts on it, probably more pertaining to that trailer itself, because I'm not that mad about it, personally.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, go ahead, kick it off. I mean, it sounds like, and we'll just kind of roll with it from there. I mean, what are you thinking after watching it?
I think that clip wasn't great, but not for the reasons everybody seems to think to have a problem with it. Mm-hmm. I don't think it really showed me anything I care about in that world just yet. It was a bunch of brand new characters, nothing from Ellie or Joel, and the violence was pretty insane. That whole Clipper Wings bit and just basically beating people to death with a hammer. Yeah. It was over the top, but I guess for the sake of it, I'm willing to give Naughty Dog the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like they've earned that good faith for me and for most people who play their games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a problem with it? It sounds like you were...
No, I think it was probably a poor choice to use those clips, because I don't think they really serviced anything. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
they could just be trying to drive home the brutality of that world, which anyone who played the first game can tell you it's brutal.
I think it did have a little to show that, like, the graphical capabilities of this game, because as you see the hammer hit the arm on that new character, it shows like the impact of that, and that is in terms of graphics, that's really impressive. I think that was
it's beautiful.
I think that's kind of part of the purpose there, is to show you how advanced the graphics are going to be in this game, and that's one way to do it, is show an actual blow of something connecting, whether it's a sword or a bullet piercing through flesh, or a hammer hitting someone's arm. I kind of agree with you. That probably wasn't the best first choice, but yeah. I mean, coming from someone who hasn't played the first Last of Us yet, it made me interested in wanting to play the game, and it's not because of the violence. It's because of A, how beautiful the game is, and The Last of Us 2, and B, kind of the mystery of what's going on. And I would be lying if I didn't say the zombies definitely piqued my interest.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's right. Yeah. I felt the same thing, sort of. I mean, I guess my takeaway was just, contextually, the game is about violence. So I guess I don't understand the complaint in concept, because I guess in theory, because you're basically, if you're just complaining that you shouldn't use violence in your trailer, that seems like a strange thing to me when the game is actually about violence. And if you just don't like the violence, which is perfectly fine, obviously it's not for everyone.
Then it's not for you. If the game's not for you, then
the entire game wouldn't be for you anyway. So
I agree.
I don't understand what the greater argument is, because if you, unless you're just saying trailers should not portray violence, which just seems very close-minded and silly. So
I think it's a lot of people saying the violence for violence sake, but we're talking about to use a terrible industry term, a vertical slice we don't know enough yet. We don't know how this serves the story and what it does. I'm not willing to snap to judgment on this game for that yet. And I think Naughty Dog has... I haven't played a Naughty Dog game in 10 years where I haven't walked away going like, wow, that was fucking amazing. So they've earned that good faith for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my biggest issue with it is that, like you said, who the fuck are these people? And in that sense, it is just violence for violence sake, because there's a torture scene, there's this daring rescue, all of which involving people you've never seen before and don't give a shit about.
Yeah, we have no stake in those characters.
Yeah, no stake whatsoever. And so that part feels really odd. Like, they could have gone anywhere with this first trailer, and that's what they decided to show us. Like a torture and rescue scene of someone we don't have any knowledge of. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, it was a weird tease for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, that was my big problem.
Can I play devil's advocate after you're done? After you're done.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, I do agree that, I mean, the first game, not just that it was a violent game, but the theme of that game was violence. That was the whole point. That was the major through line of the character's arc. It
was a brutal
arc.
Brutal role. Brutal role for sure. But then there's the argument of, which I agree with to a point, is that the theme of the first game was hope.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I mean, like, the arc of Joel was really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what they were going for, but yeah, I felt really strange that I had no idea what was happening, going on there. I'm like, the arrows show up. I'm like, oh, it's Ellie. It's Ellie. Finally, someone I know, someone I'm gonna have some connection with.
But then no,
and then it's not. So it's
well,
like,
then, I don't know if you guys have heard
so
this,
bizarre.
but people are posing that that scene in question is a flashback, and that the woman who was being hanged was Ellie's mother, lying into that whole, like, I'm going to cut the evil out of you line. And the clip her wings line is foreshadowing to the Fireflies and how that comes to be. But it seems like too little to grasp at for such a small teaser for a game we still know next to nothing about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially if you don't have any history with it. I mean...
Yeah. That's not going to draw a new audience in.
So, anyway...
Well, to play the devil's advocate on that, I don't mean to bring another subject in, but just very briefly, watching the Stranger Things 2 trailers where they showed that Elle was not dead, she was in fact alive, pretty much right in the trailer, and then they bring her back right at the beginning of the season. That, the second season, and I'm not spoiling anything because it shows in the trailer, it really kind of took the wind out of the sails of that reveal when 11 does end up coming back. So I think for this trailer, granted, again, I've never played the first one, but not revealing anything, I think could really leave a lot of the mystery and enigma within the game. But I also understand your guys' point, why get invested in the second one if you know nothing about it. And, you know, the characters that you grew to love in the first one, you don't know what's going on with them, but I don't know. For me,
I can see that.
The trailer for me drew me in, and I didn't even play the first one, and I didn't have much interest of playing the first one, to be honest with you, even though I've heard that I need to. But after watching that trailer, it kind of makes me want to go back and play the first one, so I can play the second one and know what's going on, because the second one looks awesome. I want to play that game now.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I mean, as far as that goes, not spoiling the story had a lot to do with why the first one was so good, because the story was amazing. So I can see why they'd want to not really give that away beforehand, and just kind of give you broad strokes. It's a zombie game type stuff, so you go into it and are fresh with the story. So I mean, I can see
people
that.
asking questions. Yeah, get people asking questions, kind of.
Yeah.
Get those. What about you, Fish? Where are you weighing on this?